Have you ever had a dream so bizarre it actually changed your entire worldview? Well, welcome to today's Explainer, where we're diving into a profound ancient story that's going to force us to question literally every interaction we have. We're looking at how our deepest, most genuine emotions might actually be setting hidden, dangerous traps for us every single day.
Picture this. You're completely lost at sea. You're hopeless, you're exhausted, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a beautiful mermaid swims up and offers to save you. Sounds like a classic romantic myth, right? Well, as we're about to discover, this is far from a fairy tale. It's actually a chilling allegory for how we accumulate our heaviest spiritual baggage.
Our story centers on a young man named Irva, who is being haunted by this absolutely terrifying recurring nightmare. And the dream always follows the exact same three-step progression. First, he tries to rescue a trapped mermaid, but it completely backfires. Second, she pulls him underwater, and he's forcibly transformed into a merman himself, trapped forever in this dreary, dark underwater kingdom. But the third part is definitely the darkest. The only way Irva can ever earn his freedom is by tricking some other innocent, lonely human sailor to take his place down in the depths. He literally has to become the very monster that trapped him in the first place.
Now, cutting back to reality, Irva doesn't just keep this nightmare to himself. He actually sits down with his wise 80-year-old mentor, Baba, to figure out what it means. They do this while performing a traditional daily ritual where they trace the chaotic paths of ants. And during this ritual, Baba reveals something huge. Irva's nightmare isn't just random brain static, it's a deep spiritual allegory for how we are living our waking lives.
Here is where Baba drops a massive truth bomb. A mermaid isn't some mythical sea creature. It's actually a metaphor for anyone, literally anyone we become emotionally attached to. When we form these deep attachments, the other person's soul unknowingly drags us down into their own negative karma. It's like being caught in an invisible spiritual undertow.
And we're not just talking about romantic attachment here. According to Baba, there are 9 specific emotions, 9 mermaids that form these dangerous links. We're talking about joy, sadness, anger, fear, pity, disgust, expectation, surprise, and trust. Baba explains that a soul burdened with bad karma acts almost like a highly contagious virus. If you feel any of these 9 true emotions towards someone, you essentially open up a channel, and their bad karma flows directly into your soul.
So, how on earth do you avoid this? Well, Baba's solution is wild. He tells his community that we have to live life like we're actors in a massive theater production, what he calls the grand play of Maya. Instead of experiencing true human emotion, which he argues is just a selfish reaction that blindly transfers bad karma, we should act. You fake joy, you fake anger, all while keeping this safe internal awareness that it's just a performance. If you never actually let yourself feel the emotion, your soul stays totally safe and uncontaminated.
But, talking about being an emotionally detached actor is one thing when you're sitting safely in your village. Actually doing it, totally different story. And the universe decides to brilliantly put Baba's philosophy to the test when the 80-year-old master heads out on what is supposed to be a simple, routine jungle honey hunt with Irva and 2 of his nephews.
While they're out deep in the jungle, they stumble on something truly horrific. They find a dying dog, in absolute agony. The description here is incredibly visceral. Slimy, writhing, disgusting maggots eating their way into eye sockets, half the head already devoured. And despite his own incredibly strict lifelong teachings about staying detached, Baba looks at this dog and is instantly hit with a wave of genuine pity and intense disgust.
And just like that, boom, test 1 failed. In that single fleeting moment of lost control, those maggots become Baba's very first mermaid. Because he felt real disgust and pity, his soul securely latches onto the maggots and they secretly start pumping their bad karma straight into him. The master has officially been pulled underwater. From there, things go from bad to worse. Baba sends his nephews off to find some medicine for the dog. But when they take too long, he goes looking for them, and he is suddenly struck by this terrifying hallucination. He sees their lifeless bodies on the ground, with alarmingly pale blue skin and red blazing snakebite wounds.
You guessed it, test 2 completely failed. Gripped by sheer terror and devastating sorrow over his nephews, Baba falls straight into the arms of his second mermaid. He's frantically trying to suck the venom out of their legs, just weeping openly. It goes to show just how easily pure fear can completely shatter a lifetime of disciplined spiritual practice.
Now he hits absolute rock bottom. He's completely broken. He looks up through his tears and spots a monkey up in a tree casually eating a banana, totally ignoring the tragedy happening below.
Instead of keeping his cool and remembering his training, this once wise 80-year-old teacher belligerently chases the animal through the trees, throwing stones and mimicking it in a blind rage.
Test 3. Epic fail. He completely surrenders to anger. This blinding rage physically and spiritually breaks him down until he's just a gasping, collapsed heap on the jungle floor. In literally under an hour, this master has been entirely consumed by 3 mermaids: disgust, fear, and anger.
But hold on, because here is where the entire story flips on its head. While Bobby is lying there, defeated and gasping for air, Urva is sitting nearby, looking completely calm. He's peacefully talking to what looks like just an empty tree trunk. But in reality, he is speaking directly with the immortal Lord Hanuman.
And Lord Hanuman drops the ultimate twist. None of it was real. The dying dog, the snake-bitten nephews, the screechy monkey, they were all incredibly elaborate illusions, coordinated specifically by Hanuman to expose Baba's hidden, dangerous attachments. As Hanuman says, Baba got buried under a veil of ignorance in just 1 hour by these allegorical mermaids.
Hanuman breaks down the mechanics of what just happened, and it reveals 3 huge takeaways. First, push comes to shove, even the wisest masters are vulnerable to true emotions. Second, Hanuman explains that a real master would have spotted the mermaid in those maggots instantly and stayed in character, acting out the rescue without ever feeling the spiritual weight of disgust. And third, because Baba failed and absorbed a massive amount of bad karma, there's only one way to save his soul. His memory of the entire trauma has to be completely wiped clean. Because think about it, if he remembers the trauma, he keeps the karma. So Hanuman performs a miracle. In an instant, Baba yawns and stretches like he's just waking up from a peaceful afternoon nap. His nephews stroll back into the clearing, totally unharmed and completely clueless. The agonizing test is entirely erased from reality, serving as a profound secret lesson that only young Urva, and now us, get to learn from.
Which brings us right back to you and me. We might not be tracing ant paths in the jungle, but we are all participating in this grand play of Maya every single day. So take a hard look at your own life right now, your relationships, your conflicts. Which emotional attachments, whether it's anger at your boss, pity for a stranger, or just a blinding fear of the future, are acting as mermaids, secretly pulling you under the water? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.